Hello, folks, and welcome to another episode of Inspo Crypto's daily Bitcoin market update or analysis. As usual, we will start with our weights ratio chart. I'm going to make a quick overview today because the video yesterday was, in my, my opinion, too long. But sometimes that's necessary if you notice some, yeah, activity in the market that could be useful for your trade strategy, of course. So let us take a look here. What's happening? Well, as we have seen since yesterday, the market has dumped, and since then it's just lifting up a little bit. It reached almost, yeah, I would say 40,800 or 40,700. Since then, it's declining again, it seems. At the same time, the stablecoin reserves on exchanges, as you can see as well here, it's now declining. So, not really something big. The weights ratio 30 hours average related to the weights ratio is declining. So, less sell pressure coming from whales at the moment. Also very interesting what happened to the stablecoin supply. It declined once again, then it rised a little bit, but it maintains its low level. And that's something, yeah, that let me struggle a little bit with the market at the moment because, as you can see, it declined a lot. We will see, or let us take a look now what happened to USDC, to the Coinbase stablecoin, and we can see that we had in the last few, well, since March 25th, where we reached a new all-time high related to redeemed supply, and we received here almost 1.4 billion US dollars, and that's a lot. After that day, we maintained a very high level, and even yesterday, another 1 billion USDC went back to the treasury to redeemed, and that's a lot, and that explains a little bit as well why the stablecoin supply is declining more and more. And yeah, that's something that's absolutely not bullish in my opinion. So, what happened to the spot exchanges? Well, also here, nothing big. We had big outflows, but also big inflows related to stablecoins. We can see here, yesterday night, we had almost 200 million outflow, at the same time 160 million inflow. An hour later, 170 inflow, while 150 million outflow. So maintains relatively neutral, and the last few hours we had more outflows than inflows, indicating that traders here are taking some profit and withdrawn their stable coins. Also here we can see that the stablecoin net flow is more negative than positive, indicating more outflows happening. And we have seen that the stablecoin reserves on exchanges right now is declining, and that confirms a little bit what we have seen before just in the weights ratio chart. But the Bitcoin flows are relatively flat. So we are talking about, and that seems to be the highlight from today, 560 Bitcoin. That's nothing. So that's it from here. Well, analyzing this chart, the future trading chart, we can see here the funding rate was maintaining a relatively neutral to high, or indicating at last a bigger demand for longs, and it's lifting up a little bit, but that correlates very well to the price action. However, it is very bullish. Bullish means in that case that they requested more shorts than longs. Even it's flipping, it seems, or at least it's lifting up again. However, that's something. Well, I mean, I'm shorting as well, but that's surprising me a little bit. The open interest. Well, I mean, the open interest is also indicating they closed a lot of contracts here, or maybe they liquidated some, and then they have started just to place, it seems, some shorts, and then the price lifted up afterwards. They liquidate them as well, it seems, late shorts. So, yeah, nothing big at the moment. I mean, for me, that's bullish because the market loves to trade the opposite direction of the retailers or the masses at least. The leverage ratio is still too high, even if it's declining right now, but in my opinion, maintains a very high level. If we take a look to the flow activities related to derivative exchanges, we can see here that in the last hour they're taking some profit. So stablecoin outflows here indicating 125 million versus 57 million inflow. However, we had just a few hours ago, while the funding rate was rising a little bit or lifting up, we received 175 million, while we just detect here 28 million outflows. The hours before were looking much more like red, so indicating more outflows than inflows. And even now, as mentioned 1 hour ago. So if we take a look to the bitcoins related to the Bitcoin activity related to the derivative exchanges, that's a similar picture. We received here, that was yesterday night, almost 3,900 Bitcoin. 2 hours later, an outflow of 4,000 Bitcoin. So someone did, it seems, just a quick trade here. And well, then it maintained very neutral, so indicating similar amount of outflows as inflows. And in the last hours, we are seeing here more Bitcoin outflows to the exchanges, to derivative exchanges. You know my theory. I mean, in my opinion, they love to use Bitcoin margin contracts to lift up the price. When I see, for example, such kind of outflows, I would say that these guys are taking profit. Looks a little bit more bearish to me. Also would indicate or it correlates to the funding rate, but we need to see. Let us check the liquidation map on Kingfisher. Well, that's a change since yesterday. We can see here a big liquidation cluster related to shorts. And even the volume is rising from 180 million that was actually here since yesterday. It rised a lot. So, I mean, that's the question. I mean, we had such a similar picture related to longs just a few weeks ago, and nothing happened. Everybody was expecting a big dump then just to liquidate them, and it didn't happen. So the question is, it's going to happen now? I mean, I'm expecting volatility, and for me, that's a big risk for all these guys here. But however, I mean, I wouldn't make a bet just to say they're going to liquidate that. I mean, if the market makers or the big whales are here located with their positions, they are not going to liquidate themselves. So But yeah, even the long liquidation cluster has reduced in volume. So very interesting what's happening. Just based on the liquidation map, I would say we need to go up to 42.7. So some guys just said, hey, Inspo, we are going to go between 42 and 44K. I mean, I need to check all data just to make such kind of forecast, not only TA, but it would make sense if they want to liquidate all these shorts, of course. So if we take a look to the Bitcoin reserves on spot exchanges, we can see that since yesterday afternoon, the Bitcoin reserves declined by 6,500 Bitcoin. So they just started, it seems, to buy Bitcoin the way down that makes sense. But at the moment, it doesn't look like the local bottom. As you can see here, we still have, just taking into account how much Bitcoin we received since the 22nd of March, we still have almost 19,500 Bitcoin on exchanges waiting. So it's a positive sign. It's indicating that the price is attracting some whales to buy. And of course, and I have tweeted about that. Let me see if I can find that. That's this picture here, where you can see the market makers. In my opinion, these guys are the market makers because they have the best trade behavior compared to all other entities. And every time when these guys buy big, something is going to happen. For example, here they did that just to form a fake rally, and afterwards, what happened? They have started to sell, and we dumped very hard. So that's something we should have in mind, but that matches very well, in my opinion, to what we have seen now related to the Bitcoin reserves on spot exchanges. So keep that in mind. So, who or what is driving the market? So, what instrument is leading at the moment? And if we check that, we still can see related to CBDs, just if the X is, it seems, buying a little bit of spot, but really that's almost neutral. Aggregated spot, as you can see, declining, 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 declining. So selling, 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 selling. However, people are asking, how is that possible that the price lift up? They use futures, and that's the way how they can fool retailers where they can sell some of their bitcoins. We can see here that's 5 minutes time frame, for example. It's the same game. Let us bring that a little bit up. And futures are here the key player. So just quick buy, then they have started to sell here in the top. That's quick profit, quick business. Only FTX is indicating a little bit of, it seems, a little accumulation. We are not talking about something big. That's absolutely not big. No. So at the same time, they use, of course, here the stable coin margin contracts just to, yeah, to bring the price up while they can close their coin margin contracts. That's for me a bearish sign, and maintain the price with the stable coin margin contracts. And that's what we can see at the moment. Let us take a look here. Sorry, to the next one. 5 minutes. What's happening here? Binance is showing here big activity, and the little pump between 40 and 4700 was driven by almost everyone, it seems. No, just by Binance FTX. Looks like once again, it seems the exchange that has a bearish sentiment at the moment. But we can see here, okay, that was much more Binance who was selling or just helping here out. But no, it seems the main driver of this dump was Bitfinex, Deribit, Huobi. Nice constellation. And then they Binance took over, and afterwards, it seems FTX just started to be very active. What we can see here as well, and that's Binance. We can see here that the Binance funding rate is declining. We can see that the open interest for coin margin contracts is declining, and even here the stable coin margin contracts were declining and is lifting up again, while the funding rate is declining. So that's not bullish as well. And we have here, for example, now FTX. We can see that FTX is rising while the open interest related to stablecoin margin contracts is rising too. Makes sense because these guys are buying some spot. So possible that they want to lift up a little bit more to start to sell there and to let it dump afterwards like they did in the past. And even here we can see that aggregated open interest to coin margin contracts is lifting up a little bit, but that's almost neutral, so not absolutely not helpful here. Well, and that's it. So future trading is the main driver of the market. So, quick overview, walls related to Coinbase, 44K, and we have here some at 39K, but low volume, 120, 90 Bitcoin, so nothing big. Deribit, 42.6, 1.5 million, also nothing big. 1 million here right at 41.5, and just 35.4 in lower ranges. So Binance Spot. Okay, 144 Bitcoin at 39.5 and 160 Bitcoin at 39. So also nothing big here and not limiting the way up. Bitfinex. We still have the cluster here, but that's not useful at the moment because we are far away from this 38 at the moment. And that's it. I mean, I don't see nothing big here. There's spoofing, of course, as you can see, but we have here just 79 Bitcoin. That's nothing. So also here, nothing big. Absolutely nothing big. FTX, FTX perp. Okay. They are not continuing these walls, and instead we have a wall at 42.3 and a wall at 43.8. And that's it. Also some spoofing activity here. BitMEX, 3 million waiting at 37.8. That's it. Binance Futures, that's my favorite one, as you know. And well, that's a clear statement here. That's really a clear statement in my opinion. I tell you why. We can see that here it's similar. They are doing exactly the same. So it's not part of the plan at the moment just to let the price go down even more. Instead, as you can see here, that looks like an invitation to say, hey, go up. And then they are limiting here, it seems, at 42K. So that's a possible nice bull trap and entry for shorts. 400 Bitcoin waiting there. Okay, we have 600 Bitcoin here, 500 Bitcoin here, but taking into a look here, 800. Well, they are spoofing with that, it seems, but this here looks very accurate in my opinion. And then we have here a 38.8, 570 Bitcoin. I don't know, it looks like they are expecting some big volatility, maybe 42 and then down to 38. That looks a little bit strange, but so you can see that's what Binance loves to do. That's here, here, and the price works like a Swiss watch. It's following. Just, you know, yeah, very interesting. However, Bitfinex derivatives, okay, nothing here, absolutely nothing. That's like a desert. FTX spot, okay, they are here limiting at 37 it seems. Come on. Yeah, 37 and nothing up. Even here, they stopped. You can see that here. We had a big cluster. So they didn't continue with that cluster. We have still one cluster, it seems, here at 42 as well. Okay, 42 could be for us the key.